Get your mind together. All right, I bet we're going to get this done in 20 minutes or less. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my second video dedicated to one of my new favorite authors, Grady Hendrix. So did I film this right after I filmed the last one like I said I was going to? No, I sure didn't. Am I wearing the same shirt? Why, yes I am. It's not even the same day, but I already had the thumbnail for this video made. I was going to do it that day, but then I remembered, oh, my phone sucks and I can't do 2 videos at one time, so I had to get that all edited and off my phone before I could do this video. So here we are, it's a few days later, but you are actually going to be watching this a few weeks later. I think I'm going to try to insert a video or 2 in between this one and the previous Grady Hendrix video as to not overwhelm you with Grady Hendrix content. But this will be my last video for Grady Hendrix. I have read all 6 of his works, including Paperbacks from Hell, which is not going to be included in this video. This is strictly for his commercially published fictional works. So I first started reading Grady Hendrix back in summer of 2020. I had no idea who he was, but the book that I first learned about from him was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So that was actually the first book I read. And like I said, that's almost been 3 years ago now, right? Or maybe it was early 2021. I can't remember now, but it's been a few years. And after that, I read the Final Girl Support Group, and that was over a year ago. And so I read the other 4 within the past 6 months or less. So the first 2 books are not as fresh in my mind as the other 4, but I'm going to do my best to just shoot through these as quick as possible as to not have another 20-minute video. Hopefully this will just be like 15 minutes, but me talking about this is not helping. So let's just get into it. So 6 books, I'm going to be ranking them in the order from worst to best. I don't believe I have ranked any of his books less than 3 stars. The bottom 2 were 3 stars, and I think the others have all been 4 and 5. So all these stories are really good in their own little way. A lot of people love all of them. I wish I loved all of them. Maybe I'll reread them all once he has a few other books that have come out in the next few years, and we'll see if the ranking changes. As for now, today is, well, sometime in May 9th, I think, 2023. 6 books. We will start at the bottom with my least favorite book. So here we go. Coming in last place, my least favorite Grady Hendrix fictional work is going to be Horror Store. Yeah, I really didn't care for this one all that much, but it's Grady, I love him. I'm not gonna give him less than 3 stars, I don't think. But yeah, this book just didn't do it for me. It's about a haunted IKEA-like store, and some employees and a manager are recruited to stay overnight to try to figure out why their store is being vandalized. So what really didn't work for me in this one were the characters. I didn't really care for Amy. She's our main character. She hates her job. She hates being at this store, and I completely understand. I've never worked retail. Maybe if I had, I would have enjoyed this more because it talks a lot about the retail business and furniture that Grady has made up to include in this story, as well as little inserts of pictures, because this is supposed to be like a catalog. But the story overall centers around these employees, and they spend the night in the store, and they discover some things. Some things happen. There's some hauntings going on, but like I said, I just didn't care for the characters. Didn't really care what was happening in the store. I didn't care for the ending at all. I didn't like it at all. So yeah, this is my least favorite Grady Hendrix book, Horror Store. My second to last least favorite Grady Hendrix book is going to be the Final Girl Support Group. Comes in at number 5. I gave this 3 stars also, I think. I guess I had high expectations for this. I thought it was going to be this story about different final girls from the different situations. They come together and fight this supernatural entity that's chasing them all down. However, the actual story is very much centered in reality, whereas some of the girls' backstories are very much not set in reality. I forget all the girls' names, but I think there's like 5 or 6 final girls, and they are takeoffs of very popular horror movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, The Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah, the characters were okay. I just didn't really care for how the story played out. I thought it was a very missed opportunity for it to be something great. But anyway, so somebody has discovered this secret group of final girls, and I believe they start getting stalked. It's been a little bit since I read this, so I don't remember all the details. I just remember being very disappointed. I figured out who was behind everything kind of early on. There was a surprise twist that I didn't see coming exactly, but overall it was just okay. I would like to reread this at some point, like I would for all of these. Like I said, or may have said in the beginning of this video, I would like to reread all of these once he has a few more novels out, and that way maybe I can see if my ranking has changed. But for now, this comes in at number 5. So numbers 4 and 3 on this list, I really struggled to decide which one I like best. They're both very good in their own ways. I really enjoyed this one. This is his latest one. Coming in at number 4 is How to Sell a Haunted House. I really liked the sister-brother dynamic in this story. It is very much character driven. It takes a while for any kind of weird things to happen, but I really liked it. I liked the puppets, the dolls that come to life in this. I really liked Louise and Mark. I really didn't like Mark in the beginning, but he grew on me. You tend to side with one sibling for a majority of the story, then you might side with the other sibling. You kind of go back and forth because you get little breadcrumbs sprinkled throughout of their past, of why they are estranged and why their parents liked one of them over the other and vice versa. As far as the puppets go, there were some very creepy moments in this, and it didn't really disappoint. There was one very bloody moment in the garage. If you know, you know. I can't say without spoiling it. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. It does kind of have like a trick ending. You think it's over, and then it continues for like another 50, 100 pages or whatever. I thought that could have been cut out, maybe, and it wouldn't have hurt the story at all. As far as haunted houses go, I'm not the biggest fan of those kinds of stories, but I really did enjoy this one for the most part. So as of this moment right now, my 3rd favorite Grady Hendrix book is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So like I said, I was going back and forth between this one and How to Sell a Haunted House, which one I liked better. This book, when I first read it, like I said, it was my first Grady Hendrix read, and it really kind of ticked me off that it wasn't a traditional vampire, and I couldn't get past that. However, upon reflection, there were several horrific moments in this story that I still remember to this day. One involving rats, one involving a crazed neighbor who bites the earlobe off of one of the girls, and another one where our main character is hiding in the attic from the vampire, and some roaches or rats or something come up to her, and yeah, very horrific. What really sold this one for me was the ending. It is the bloodiest ending out of all these stories. I will give it that. Like I said, when I first read it, I didn't know what was what. I didn't really know my reading taste, so I really would like to reread this one at some point, because I think it might shoot up even farther than number 3. I don't know. We'll see one day. But as for now, yeah, the main villain, I thought he was really good. I just wish he had been a fang blood-sucking vampire. There are different types of vampires. I know this. It was just in my head that it was going to be a traditional vampire that only comes out at night, whatever. Overall, it was really good. There was one scene that I really didn't like, involving one of the other girls towards the end, and I can't tell you what happens, but check your trigger warnings. I will say that this is the only book I think that could have some kind of trigger warning for Grady. But yeah, number 3, Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. My second favorite Grady Hendrix book is We Sold Our Souls. This book really surprised me. This was the one I was looking forward to reading the least out of his stuff, but it was such a good story. It's not all that horrific. There weren't really any bloody moments that I can think of exactly, but it's a really good story. We have a great main character in Chris. So this story is about a band that tried to make it big 20 years earlier. They almost did, but the lead singer messed it all up for them and they went their separate ways. The lead singer became famous, the others did not. This story picks up in present day where she's like in her 40s. She's working at a motel. She hates her job and she doesn't get along with her brother. So she knows that the previous lead singer of their band is going on like a farewell tour, and it gets her thinking about all the things that happened back in the day. And so she goes to meet one of her bandmates who has secluded himself in the family basement, and things happen down there, and it goes on a wild ride after that. It's not all that bloody, but it's still a great read. Has some really good twists and turns, and I really enjoyed the ending. So yeah, overall, really solid read. It's not exactly what you think it's going to be, and that's all I can tell you. So obviously you know what my top number 1 Grady Hendrix book is, and that is My Best Friend's Exorcism. So not only did this cover win for like my favorite Grady Hendrix book cover, but it is also my favorite story. So this is a story about 2 high schoolers named Abby and Gretchen. One of them gets possessed and the other one has to try to figure out what's wrong with her because she's not acting normal. But what makes this book so great is the relationship between Gretchen and Abby. We get to see how they met in elementary school. But they also hang out with these other girls who have minor parts in the story. But yeah, it's just a really great read set in the 80s. If you love the 80s, you'll definitely love this. I think that's probably why I love it so much. The ending, I think it was really good. It almost brought a tear to my eye, honestly. And it was the most original exorcism I have ever read or seen in any type of movie. Yeah, it's just a fun read. Definitely my number 1 Grady Hendrix book. So that's my list. It is not the right list. It is just my opinions. No list is correct, but as of now, this is my current ranking. So let me know in the comments which Grady Hendrix book is your favorite. Which one is your least favorite? Have you read all 6 of these? If not, which ones do you still need to read? I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Well, that does it for me today. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you all are doing well. Take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one.